What's going on, pro wrestling fans? This is JP. This is the Power Bomb, and please make sure to hit that subscribe button below to make sure to get more wrestling content from your boy right here. But today is Forbidden Door, and we are talking about the pay-per-view that's coming up and what my predictions are going to be for that show. So let's get right into it. The TNT Championship match, Kyle Fletcher versus Takashi. I'm going with Kyle Fletcher. Obviously, they just put the championship on Kyle Fletcher. No reason to take it off of him, so give me Kyle Fletcher in that one. The IWGP Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. versus the one, the only Nigel McGuinness. Major name coming back to London for this big pay-per-view. Getting a crack at the IWGP Championship is a huge accomplishment for Nigel. They've been kind of planting a story between him and Daniel Garcia. I like a heel turn from Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia will get involved in this match one way or another, and Zack Sabre Jr., because of that interference, will retain his IWGP Championship. The Tag Team Championship, it's a three-way. The Hurt Syndicate defending their tag titles against FTR, Brody King, and Bandito. Give me Brody King and Bandito. I've been watching this tag team for a little bit. I like how they've looked in the tournament. They have a nice cohesiveness to them. So give me Bandito and Brody King. I think this is a good way of getting Bobby Lashley out of that Hurt Syndicate. Well, he's not out of the Hurt Syndicate, but getting him geared more towards a singles championship, and I think Shelton Benjamin should get a singles championship push as well. So give me Bandito and Brody King, and obviously FTR does not need this win. TBS Women's Championship, give me Mercedes, because I don't really know who Alex Windsor is other than her stuff on Stardom. I don't really know who Persephone is, and I have no idea who Bozilla is. I'm assuming they're just wrestlers that are entering the Forbidden Door. So give me Mercedes. Just a regular tag team match. The return of Edge and Christian. Finally, after 20 long years, this tag team is reunited, and they're taking on Kip Sabian and Killswitch. Obviously, Killswitch is stepping in for Nick Wayne. Give me Kip Sabian and Killswitch. I think there's more to the bone on this story. I don't think Edge and Christian will be on the same page. It doesn't make sense for them to be just immediately reconnected just like that. So give me Kip Sabian and Killswitch on this one. Although if AEW is looking for that feel-good moment, I guess you give it to Edge and Christian. But I think you give it to Killswitch and Kip Sabian. I think there's more to the story that's to follow out of that one. And then we're going to get this absolute jumbled fuck of a match, this lights-out steel cage match between Darby Allin teaming with Omega, Ospreay, Ibushi, and Tanahashi versus the Death Riders, the Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. I gotta be honest, I thought when Hangman Page won that championship from Jon Moxley that we would see the Death Riders kind of go away for a little while, but nope, they're sticking right to their guns. They're not getting away from this, so give me Darby Allin, Omega, Ospreay, Tanahashi, and Ibushi to win this match. I feel like that's the good way to end this, not really end the feud, but to get Darby Allin a win under his belt. This is going to be a bloody spot fest if you've ever seen one. The lights are out, which means technically AEW is not responsible for anything that happens in the ring. So, and plus it's a steel cage match, which is crazy enough to begin with. So expect a lot of blood, expect a lot of spots, and expect Darby Allin, Omega, Ospreay, and Ibushi and Tanahashi to win this match. And that's a mouthful to say, let me tell you. AEW Unified Championship, Okada versus Swerve Strickland. I think Swerve wins this. I think we want to keep the legacy of that belt. We want to keep it getting more prestigious. So I think a new owner of that title, being a Swerve Strickland, could get that championship to another level. Kind of like how WWE has with the Intercontinental Championship. So give me Swerve Strickland to win this one over Okada. The AEW Women's Championship, Toni Storm versus Athena. Obviously, AEW is not planning on pushing Athena. So I would say Toni Storm wins this. And obviously, my end game with Toni Storm is to drop that championship to Megan Bayne. That is what I think is going to happen at some point. I don't know when, but I feel like that's going to happen. Athena, you're a good Ring of Honor Women's Champion, but I don't know if we're ready to put the AEW Women's Championship on you just yet. And then the main event, MJF versus champion Hangman Adam Page. Give me Hangman in this. I feel like you cannot take the title off of Hangman immediately like this. I don't think he's a transitional champion. I personally would go with MJF because he is more of that type of wrestler that should win this championship because there's more depth to his character. There's more storytelling to tell with Max, and then you can obviously go right into the Bobby Lashley thing, which is why I think the Hurt Syndicate does not retain their tag team championships today. But yeah, I think it's going to be Hangman. I don't think you took that title off of Moxley to immediately hand it over to MJF. And remember, MJF still has the contract for his championship match. Just because he did not invoke it, we all thought he invoked it, but apparently Max had a master plan that because he got Hangman to accept the match regardless, he didn't have to actually hand in the championship thing. So I don't think MJF wins. I think there's more to this story. So give me Hangman to retain at Forbidden Door. And Forbidden Door is not like the big four pay-per-views. You know, it's not like an All-Out, a Full Gear, a Revolution, a Double or Nothing, or now an All In. This is more of like your subsidiary pay-per-view. So I don't see them pulling the trigger with MJF defeating Hangman Adam Page just yet. So give me Hangman to win this. All right, those were my predictions for AEW Forbidden Door, which starts in, I think, about an hour. As you can see, I'm wearing my Manchester United jersey because I decided to shoot this video instead of watch their game. So I'm trying to rush to get back to that. But yeah, everyone enjoy Forbidden Door.